Hey everyone, so this is my review of the TV show House of Cards season 1 to 6. I figured I would just review it as a whole. So, for those of you that don't know, this show premiered on Netflix in 2013, and this was actually the show that coined the term Binge Watch. And also, it was a huge risk because David Fincher was the director and also like the producer of the show, and Kevin Spacey and Wright were also involved. And this was the first time that like a streaming show was actually like having A-list actors, and a lot of people thought that it could possibly ruin their reputation, and yet here we are 5 years later, and we have Netflix is booming like never before. They have so many TV shows. So House of Cards is the reason why you have stuff like Stranger Things, Orange is the New Black, The Haunting of Hill House. So you have to thank this show. The question is this a quality TV show? First, let me just say this. The premise of the show is it's about Frank and Claire Underwood, played by Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright. And together, these two are booming into political espionage. And when I say espionage, I mean that they are trying to go up the ranks of political office. And I never thought I would say this, but this show changed my view of politics. I never thought that there was just so much going on behind the scenes. And I loved how this show really did a great job of just depicting it. It felt so authentic. Also, I love how, you have Frank Underwood who'll be like talking, and then all of a sudden he'll like turn to the camera and say exactly what's on his mind. Like with what he's actually thinking about during that conversation and not what the other person wants to hear. And I love that. I hadn't really seen it before. The breaking of the fourth wall in this show is brilliant. I loved it so much. I remember a couple people, actually a couple family members are like, yeah, the first episode, I didn't like how he was looking right at the camera. It's like, well, because you're missing the whole point. The whole point is of what I just said. And I loved that aspect. Also, this show is brilliantly shot. It has the Fincher-esque camera lens that's utilized, as well as the color palette of David Fincher, and it really works for the show because, politics is dark, and also the acting is top-notch. Say what you will about Kevin Spacey, but he is incredible in this show. I love this performance in this show, and I think I'm one of the few people that can actually say, look, fantastic actor, personal life, maybe not the best, and I think it's important to be able to differentiate the two, and for me personally, I'm able to do that not just with him, but pretty much any actor or actress. And Robin Wright, I should say, actually, is incredible as Claire. She is really the backbone, although, yes, the focus is on Frank Underwood, but Claire Underwood, she is the backbone. She's the one that kind of like helps Frank out with stuff. And it's interesting as this series progresses into, and I'll obviously get into the seasons with what I thought of each one, but it's interesting to see Claire's progression of each season and how just some of the stuff that happens. It's interesting. Now, I'll say this. The show doesn't have a lot of quote-unquote action. This is definitely a talky TV show, but it's so interesting with the dialogue that is going on, and it feels very organic with its approach, and I like that a lot with the show. Now, I will say this, though. The first two seasons are flawless. I think they are perfect. Easily rewatchable. You can watch it multiple times. The third season, it was like, not as bingeable, which is funny because this is the show that coined the term binge watching. But the third season is not really bingeable, and it feels more of like a soap opera than like the high quality drama of the first two seasons. Season 4 is good, not as good as the first two seasons, but still better than the third season. Season 5, I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be the finale. I thought it was going to be the final season of House of Cards, and that it was going to wrap up. So when I saw the finale, I was like, well, I guess there is going to be another season. And I was kind of confused because I was like, well, I thought Netflix had a rule, only 5 seasons. And that's what I was told, but here we are. Orange is the New Black has more than 5 seasons. House of Cards, wrapped up its 6th season. And season 5, with the way it ended, it kind of fit with everything that happened with Kevin Spacey as, in his personal life. Because with the way season 5 ended, it kind of was perfect with how they went into season 6. Now, with that said, I think season 6 is still probably one of the weakest. And it's not just because Kevin Spacey and Frank Underwood isn't in it. I think it's also have to do with the fact that the finale just feels very weak. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was kind of like, But there are some scenes of greatness in season 6. It is just a very mixed season, like season 6, honestly. And it stinks because I feel as though it's like season 1, 2, 4, and 5 are the ones that's like, holy cow. But season 6, I would still give a watch because, again, Robin Wright Penn, her acting is great, and to see that in the show at the forefront, it's great. Now, as a whole, I would definitely recommend House of Cards. Again, it's not perfect. I do think that there are some scenes that kind of damper the whole mood of the show. And that, again, it's season 3 and 6. But overall, this is definitely a show that I think you should watch, not only because it is very entertaining and insightful of the whole political espionage of the world, but it's great to see these performances from not only the main actors, but the side performances are also very compelling. And I have to say that House of Cards, for me, will be getting a 4 and 5 star rating. Or, for those that like a hot sauce letter grade, it gets the old, you guys ready for this? It's the old Louisiana Crystal Hot Sauce. Good show. Again, I think that season 3 and 6 are the weakest, but that's just my view. Again, I think season 1 and 2 are perfect. But this is still a show that it is important to watch, I do believe, because it does give insight to the political world. And whether you knew it or not, it is great to watch. So, House of Cards. Guys, what would you rank each season as? Did you guys like the show? Was it not your cup of tea? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll